teacher as a curriculum implementer and manager. In every school, the teacher plays a central role in turning curriculum plans into meaningful learning experiences. As curriculum implementer, the teacher brings the written curriculum to life, translating goals, standards, and content into daily lessons that engage students and promote understanding. This role demands creativity, adaptability, and a deep awareness of learners' needs. At the same time, the teacher acts as a curriculum manager, organizing resources, aligning instruction with school goals, and ensuring that learning stays on track. This includes preparing lesson plans, managing time, coordinating with colleagues, and responding to changes in policy or student performance. This topic explores how teachers balance these two roles, the implementer and manager, and why their leadership in the classroom is essential for effective curriculum delivery and school improvement. So, in Module 4, we are going to know kita as teachers needs to have the authority to change or to implement curriculum nga dapat ang ato ang ma-instill sa atong students kay sakto o accurate. So in lesson 4.1, implementing the design curriculum as a change process. So when it comes to the word implementing, it is a very big role to us as a teacher because that certain curriculum is made by many professors or teachers or individuals that have na-observe ang ato ang education system there sa Philippines. So kita as a teacher, whatever the curriculum they are giving or whatever the curriculum ay lahang gusto i-implement, kita as a teacher, makita tao pamaagi na atong mahatag or atong ma-instill sa mga students in a easy way. No? So that is why many teachers right now, when the curriculum is changed, like the K-12 curriculum, the matatag curriculum, daghan kayo teacher na magyaw-yaw. Because why? Why is it always changing? Anong bili man pwede nga usa ka curriculum mga ato tudlo sa mga bata? Anong pirmi man ta magsigi og ilis-ilis? So as a teacher, it is a burden. It is kanang trabahunon kayo sa ato ba? So now let us know why is it very important. So curriculum implementation is the process of putting an educational plan into action. It means teachers, schools, and education system take the curriculum and actually teach it in the classroom using lessons, materials, and activity. No? Sa ato ang pagka-teacher, when we became teachers soon, we are the ones going to provide the materials, the lesson plan, and the strategy kung saan nato pag-implement sa mga students kung makasabot sila. So, there are three processes. There is planning. Teachers prepare how to teach the topics using lesson plans and resources. Before we enter the classroom, we need to have kanang strong foundation sa ato ang teaching strategy in order to implement that lesson effectively. Next is delivery. Lessons are taught using methods that help students understand like discussions, experiments, or group work. So, delivery. Kana pa lang nga dapat ato ang makuha ang attention sa mga students for that certain lesson. Like anang science, we need to have the strategy nga dapat makuha nato ang attention sa bata. Nga dapat mag-participate siya o dili siya ma-left behind. So, there is also the assessment. So teachers check if students are learning through quizzes, projects, or other evaluations. So that's why after the lesson, dapat na-adjust tayo quizzes, dapat na-adjust tayo projects and other evaluations like oral participation. You ask the students on what they are learning and kanang reflection. So why does it matter? So without proper implementation, even the best curriculum won't help students learn. So implementation is where learning really happens, no? So kung sa pa na ka-nindot ang curriculum, kung sa pa na ka nindot ang ilahang gihatag na curriculum, unsa without proper implementation, dili jud na effectively makat-on ang mga bata. So the key here is implementation. How you as a teacher nga dapat effective ka kung creative pud ka sa imong mga lessons. So next is, what is the change process in curriculum implementation? The change process refers to how schools and educators move from the old way of teaching to a new curriculum. It involves planning, adjusting, and overcoming challenges to make sure the new curriculum is actually used in classrooms. So this process is not automatic. It requires effort, support, and a clear understanding of what helps or blocks change. So, change in process of curriculum implementation. It is a process, not a one-time event. So, dili ni siya anha dayon nga ihatag sa curriculum, ma-implement na mo. So, dili. So, it takes time to master that kind of lesson. Next is, it involves people, teachers, administrators, students, and even parents play roles in adapting to the new curriculum. That's why mangita ka o help sa atong sa lahing mga tao, like the parents, and it needs a really great support kay dili inanak kasayon ang mag-implement of new kind of curriculum. So next is, it requires support and training. Professional development and collaboration helps educators understand and apply change effectively. Mao na naatay seminars for the teacher before the school year begun, and kanang ongoing na school year na ilaghan ng mga trainings nga ipa-attend ang mga teachers. Next is, it includes feedback and revisions. As the curriculum is implemented, feedback is collected to improve and refine it over time. No, kay hindi man sa ingon nga ilahan ang i-implement ang curriculum, it means effective na. No, because as the world changes, as the education systems changes fast, no, it needs a feedback and revision so that we can cope up with the changes. Lewin's force field theory and curriculum change. Kurt Lewin's theory helps us see curriculum change is a balance between two types of forces. So we have here the driving force and the restraining force. So what do you mean by driving forces? So driving forces means it supports. No, moni ang mga factors na nag-support sa kanang change sa curriculum. So these are the government intervention, society's values, technological changes, knowledge advancement, and administrative support. So we have also here the restraining forces for moni ang mga nagbabag sa change sa curriculum. So fear of the unknown, negative attitude to change, kaning mga repromoter, kay mga teacher, mo siya. So traditional values, kanang mga teacher na mostly ano nila kaya na yung mga karaan ng mga teachers na dili ganahan ang mga nagbago pa ng mga changes. So we also have here the limited resources, like most of the mga pinaka-problem karo sa DepEd, and poor school leadership. Kani kita akong mga principal, hindi ka mo appreciate, hindi ka mo support sa mga teachers na kanang they want changes, and we know that the principal, no sila ang naayong ibahong nga makahelp sa mga teachers to implement that kind of strategy. So know that when driving forces are stronger, kung kusog lang dyan ko or mas daghan ang support sa change, mas daghan ang support sa driving forces, it means change can happen. So when restraining forces are stronger, that means change is blocked. So wala dyan mahimo ang mga teachers no, even though you are that very active in a teacher, or you wanted the students to change and learn, what you can mabuhat if wala help na madawat. So when both are equal, the system stays in equilibrium. You know what's equilibrium? It means it is balanced or no change occurs. So for example, a school wants to implement a new curriculum focused on digital literacy. So diba, as a 21st century students or teachers, we need to be digital. We need to have a digital literacy. So the driving forces might include government funding for driving devices, teacher enthusiasm, and student interest. Like the other schools will provide tablets for their students or Wi-Fi. No, muna mga usada siya sa support. forces. It could be lack of internet access, fear of technology, or resistance from older staff. No, ano yung mga superiority problems sa mga teachers na andong po malabot. So in order to succeed, the school must strengthen the driver forces like training teachers and improving infrastructure, and reduce the restraining forces like addressing fears and providing support. No? So it is actually very easy if you as a leader sa inyong school and that kind of strong kind of passion as a teacher, no, we can always implement something and make changes. So next is the categories. So here are the categories of curriculum change according to McNeil 2000. So we have here a substitution, alteration, restructuring, perturbation, and value orientation. So what is substitution? This means throwing out the old and bringing something completely new. Example, your school stops using the old textbook and starts using a brand new one that follows a different teaching approach. So it's like total replacement. No, some schools implemented this. Na wala na sila magamit to textbook kaya na sila sa tablets. Next is alteration. So this is about making small changes to improve what's already there. So example, you keep the same lesson but add a concept map or group activity to make it more engaging. So it's like makita na to sa YouTube na strategy nila, then we implement it and we make small adjustments in order to cater na to a diverse students sa ato classroom. So alteration or small adjustments. Next is restructuring. So this involves changing how the whole curriculum is organized or delivered. For example, your school shifts to blended learning, combining face-to-face and online classes. Everyone, the teachers, students, and parents has to adjust. So that's what happened to COVID. No, we naanay face-to-face, naay module, naay blended learning. So na-adjust big impact sa ato system. Perturbation. So these are unexpected changes that force quick adjustments. So for example, the principal changes the curriculum mid-year and teachers must rush to prepare students for national exams. So these are the sudden disruptions. As teachers, we have to be flexible and available for that kind of changes. Next is value orientation. This means changing what the curriculum emphasizes or values most. For example, new teachers in a religious school focus more on academics and less on character formation, which shifts the school's original mission. So this is changing focus or beliefs. So it is easily implemented because we can always practice values every time. So remember, when we talk about curriculum implementation, we're talking about how teachers actually use the curriculum in the classroom. Not just reading from a guide, but making lessons meaningful and effective for learners. It is a change process, which means it takes time, teamwork, and adjustment. So mo na pag-iingon ninyo nga teaching strategy, ikaw na dyan bahala o saan mo pag-deliver imuhang lesson in order to that every student kaya makasabot sila o makarelate sila and dili sila mag-work. So there are three important elements of curriculum implementation as change process. So the first one is developmental. It grows over time. Curriculum doesn't work perfectly right away. Teachers and school leaders need to reflect, ask what's working, and improve things as they go. So the first one is teachers think about what helps students learn. Next is feedback. Students, parents, and other teachers give suggestions. And refinement. Lessons and materials are improved based on experience. So for example, a school starts a new reading program. At first, teachers follow the guide strictly. Later on, they adjust the pacing, add local stories, and share tips with each other to make it better. So, dili ingon nga naa siya sa curriculum, mao jud ay imong i-implement. It's just that it is the guide. So you have we send them outside schools in order to learn the skills, the real work process of the curriculum. So yes, it is a team effort and participation in everyone, like the government officials, the stores and parents, kanang approval and support to their students. It is very important. Next is time sensitive. It happens in stages. No, the curriculum does not happen on the spot dayon. No, it happens step by step. No, mamita jud paagi ang teacher nga ma-implement jud na niya nga curriculum nga dali jud kayo masabtan sa student kay kanang lain sa kayo mo implement ka diha curriculum nga implement ka diha lesson nga student naggang nga kay wa kasabot kung unsa na ay nakalitan sad siya sa change. So curriculum change doesn't happen all at once. It goes through steps. First is orientation. Teachers learn about the new curriculum. So one of them seminar na sila. Next is routine use. They start teaching it and testing how it works. So just like in senior high school, they have this technical vocational subjects. So in order, as a teacher that is being assigned on that certain subject, you have to master it. You have to prepare for it and you have to tailor your lesson plan in order to effectively transfer it to your students. Kaya pagkataka na matugtuan na nila, ikaw ang mawawan. Kaya naman, makita mo na sa lain na industry, makita na sa mga trabahoan na ilang trabahoan mo niya inika o JP nila. So next is reflection and improvement. They need to share feedback and improve their teaching. So it is never wrong to feel ashamed if you are corrected by other teachers because you as a teacher should have room for improvement per week, no? So you have to have that attitude. Now, whenever someone is picking on you or telling you something that you have to do this and to do that, you have to accept it in a positive way. So, for example, a school introduces a STEM curriculum. Teachers attend training, teach the new content, and later reflect together to build improvement for their approach. So, why does this matter? So, curriculum change is not just about new content. It's about how we teach, how we work with others, and how we grow as professionals. Whether the change is small or the change is big. No? So the success depends on good leadership, open communication, teacher training, respect for the community and learners. So as future educators, we need to be ready to adapt, collaborate, and reflect because we are the ones who make the curriculum come alive in the classroom. So as this lesson ends, I want you to make a short reflective essay. So, as a future teacher, how will I implement curriculum effectively? So, I wanted you to be honest with your feelings and just use basic English. So, okay, that's all for the lesson 4.1, and thank you so much for your participation. Thank you.
So, good afternoon, everyone. I am Vivian Rose Ipanerio from BL3. So we are going to tackle about the implementing a curriculum daily in the classroom. So before we are going to furthermore discuss about our topic, these are the desired learning outcomes. So first is review the components of daily plan from teaching. The second is the identify intended learning outcomes, and the last one is match learning outcomes with appropriate teaching methods. So now we are going to talk about the DepEd Order number 70, section 2012. So the teachers of our public elementary and secondary schools will be include the following. First is the objectives. The second is the subject matter, then the procedure, assessment, and the assignment. So, according to the DepEd Order number 70, section 12, that the teachers who have the 2 years and above experience in the teaching fields are not being required to have their or to present their lesson plan or have their guide, but also they have to required to present the teacher guide or the teacher manual. So in order for them to be guided also to the lesson in that entire week. So in the teacher manual of teacher guide, it is provided to the teacher to the whole week na siya. While the teacher, however, the teacher who have 2 years below in experience of the teaching fields are required to have or to present their lesson plan in regards with the objectives, subject matters, and etc. So the next, starting the class right, laying down the curriculum plan. So before the class begins every day, a teacher must have written a lesson plan. The main parts of the lesson plan are objectives or intended learning outcomes, or what we call is ILO. The subject matter, procedure, or strategies of teaching, assessment, the learning outcomes, and the assignment of the agreement. So as what I've said earlier, that the 2 years and below in the teaching field are required to have this kind of lesson plan, the guided lesson plan. So intended learning outcomes, or the ILO, these are the desired learning that will be focused on the lesson. Learning outcomes are based on the taxonomy of objectives presented to us as a cognitive, affective, and the psychomotors. Bloom's taxonomy has been revisited by his own students, Lauren Anderson and David Rothko. So let's talk all about their process of the lesson planning, or according to Bloom's taxonomy, and then revised by his own students by Lauren Anderson and David Rothko. So according to Bloom's taxonomy in 1956, there are six steps, or the six process, which is the first is evaluation, synthesis, analysis, application, comprehension, and knowledge. While in the past few years, the revised Bloom's taxonomy of Anderson and David Rothko, they are having this kind of they revise the work of their teachers. have to analyze the given topic or to analyze and to understand more or to dig more about the given topic to the teachers. Next is evaluating, make judgment about the value of ideas or material. So appraise or compares, criticize, defense, describe, evaluate, interpret, and justify. So evaluating it is afterwards, after the teachers are giving like for example, the teachers are giving the performance or in let's relate it to the science subject. So if the teachers are giving the experiment session to the students, then afterward the students are pass their activities or to perform their given activities, then the teachers are going to evaluate the students what's the students composed during that in related to that subject. So evaluating it is a kind of judgment or it is also kanang makuha siya sa estudyante nga makuha nimo ang ilahang o unsa pa ilahang makulor o unsa pa ilahang need pa mga improvements. So dapat yun na ay evaluating after sa performance or after sa activities that given. Then the creating, build the structures or attend from the various elements, put parts together to create a whole, to make new meaning and structures. So the key words of it is compose, compiles, design, generates, modify, organize or rearrange, reorganize, revise, rewrite, summarize, and create. So creating is the process where the students have understand fully the lesson or understand fully the topic that the teachers have. Then the teachers are going to have their kind of assessment or kind of they are going to create or they are going to relate the topic in their life or their experience. That's the process of, or that's the creating. So in writing objectives or intended learning outcomes, it is always recommended that more of the higher order thinking skills or what we call these HATS should be developed and less of the low level thinking skills or the LOTS. For learners, the low level categories will develop LOTS and thinking skill progress as the categories more higher. So there are also a level of knowledge. So there are four: the factual knowledge, conceptual knowledge, procedural knowledge, and metacognitive knowledge. So when we say factual knowledge is ideas or specific data or information, then factual is mao ni siya inyong mga what we call that co-own idea ni more coherence inyong mga understanding or knowledge in terms of that several learning styles, but for our lesson, we will just focus on the three learning styles, which is the visual, the auditory, and the kinesthetic. These three preferred can be helped teachers choose the method and the materials they will use. So, in different learning styles, in the different learning theories, there are several students who have a different learning categories in learning the lesson or in learning the topics that the teachers are given to them. Like for example, in visual. So there are some students that not sila visual impairment. So the teachers are having their strategies or have their ways na mo ni siya kaning kuha kanang naagid ang teachers na makuha nila nga ato nga na ay mga visual impairment is na agad sila gibutang sa mga sa atubangan in order for them dili kay sila kanang dili kay kon sa ilahang nga naa sila sa luyo and also ang teachers also nasa sila i-provide other materials para sa mga estudyante nga inani nga visual siya na siya visual problems. So uses graph charts, pictures, then to remember things that are written in the form. So when any visual, so the teachers have their other strategies or other ways for the students to comply or to cope up with the topic or with the lessons that nag-i-imply sa mga teachers. And then the auditory is recalls of information through hearing and speaking. Refers to be told how to do things orally and learners aloud. So record lectures and lessons